Hi guys, Mr. Joe here. We're doing a guild activity called Make a Hat Guild activity. So I'm going to show you guys step by step how to go through this little document I created, and you can see it right here. First, learning targets is I can design or make a plan for a hat for myself. These are going to be small hats, so you don't need to worry about it fitting your head too much. They'll be more of a fun sort of little sculpture. And I can follow my plan to build a hat from the materials I have available. So I'm going to be using a lot of cardboard from, boxes that are around my house. You're going to want paper and pencil, of course, maybe some colored paper, or I'll show you how to color on your paper if you don't have that. You'll need scissors and some tape. Any scissors or tape will do as long as you can cut the cardboard with it. You might need a little bit of help from an older sibling or a parent to cut. And then if you want ribbons or buttons or other items to decorate your hat with, I think that would be awesome. You might just need a little bit of tape or glue to put those things on. Okay, so let's go through how to make a hat. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my board and I'm going to make some drawings. You can make a bunch of different hats. One of the ones that I like to make that's really simple is just a circular brim hat with a circular top to it. So there's a cool, simple little hat. And this one is really quite easy to make. The other one I'm going to show you today how to make has a brim and then has a circle on the bottom, but then this goes up to a pointy top, so sort of like a witch's hat. All right, so what you have to think about though with these is, the circle part is easy to cut a circle out of a piece of cardboard that your hat can sit on. But if you want to make this part, this is what you have to think about. What is that shape going to look like if you take that cylinder and unfold it? And for a cylinder, it should look like a long rectangle. And for a point, it should look like a curved line with a point like that. So you can imagine if you take this flat shape and roll it into a circle it will become a cone. Or if you take this flat shape and roll it, it will become a cylinder. All right, so come on over here. I did choose the cylinder side of things, and so this is what you're gonna need. I have my cardboard. This is the one that I've already kind of been messing with, but to show you, I drew a line here and sort of a big smile here. Hopefully you can see it. I'll draw it dark as I can, and then lines that go up to the top. And this might not be absolutely the perfect shape, but it's totally fine if it's not, because you can always overlap the part where it comes together and tape it. And that's what I ended up doing in mine. I lost my scissors, but imagine that I would cut this out with scissors. Yeah, it's okay, I'm not gonna actually do it. But I already cut this one out. So then the other thing you're gonna need is a cylinder. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. And I'm gonna use the cylinder to take my flat cardboard and roll it to make it bent. It just helps like make the cardboard easier to work with. Otherwise you have to sort of like bend it piece by piece. So cylinder helps. Now when I have it, I'm gonna start folding this into itself and making it into a cone with my hands. Now, once I've got it where I want it, I'll put the tape on it. And so it's not perfect, but it is definitely on its way. It looks like I need a little bit more tape. I'm using just blue masking tape, that's fine. So there's that. But the one important thing though is that you do kind of want the bottom to be a little bit like flat so it will sit. And then this is going to go onto a small piece. My piece isn't completely round because I used a scrap, but it's going to sit on there like that. So it becomes this cute little hat. And you can imagine it would be on my head. But before we do that, I want to put a little decoration on my top part. And so what I did is I actually took a regular piece of paper and I just kind of like scribbled some designs on it and drew these stars out and put a bunch of color into it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that paper down and I'm going to put my hat sort of at a diagonal to this. Could be this direction too. And because I'm thinking that this is going to wrap around this and give me the most coverage if I have it at a diagonal. So I'm going to stick part of this on the inside, and I'm going to wrap around this part here. Now the first thing I need to do is I need to put a piece of tape on the inside to hold that paper right there, so that now I can wrap the other part around my hat. Okay, and if I don't like that extra hanging over piece, maybe I'll trim it up and try not to cut myself. Okay, and I will have one or two little pieces of tape that you will see, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so now I have this cool design on the top part of my hat. Now to get this to stick on here, I'm going to also be using tape. And what I would do is I would have you put a piece of tape here, and then stick the hat down, and then put that like that. So then again, I'm going to go to the other side. I can tip this up. I can put the tape there, put it back down, and tape that down onto there. Okay. So if I continue to do this, I will eventually get a hat that is going to stick. And I'll just keep doing it until that whole thing is covered up, where all the little edges are covered. I find that if you have like 4 pieces of tape, sometimes it's not enough to make it stick for a long period of time. So if you want to make it stronger, use more tape. Okay. Now, this is looking pretty good, but if I want to, I can also go back in and do more designs to it. I might put like a little band of something around the middle of my hat to sort of hide. So again, I'm going to use my roller, roll the cardboard on it. But you can put like a band like this to sort of hide certain parts of it. I can also use markers or colored pencils. Grab a couple of them, and I could add some more colors to the actual cardboard. At this point, you're decorating your work, and there really are no rules. So go crazy, add buttons to it and all sorts of fun things. Sometimes I cut a hole out of the bottom, but it's not necessary. But I would, if you have a piece of string or something, attach a piece of string here and here, and then you can just tie it to your head so it sits like that. And so before I let you guys go to go create your own hats, I wanted to show you real quick all the hats that I've made. So if you come into here, you can see that I have a bunch of different ones that I've created. Here's one of the straight hats. This is a straight hat that I curve the edges on. And here, of course, is my little magical witch's hat. So these all use fabric, so you can coat your hats with whatever you want. And the other thing I was using here that you might not have, but if you do have them, it might be nice to use hot glue if you have it, because it does help things stick onto the outside of your hats. All right, have fun and make lots of silly hats. And then usually after we have a bunch of hats made, it makes sense to me that you should have a little tea party and all wear your hats and drink tea together. Okay, goodbye.